guys, here we are again on Monday Live, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I want to make some announcements in a little while. Last week I showed you a video of my picture. Today I'm going to show you a couple of pictures that we're doing, and I'm working on a couple more. I'm not going to show you those. I'm not done with them. And a whole bunch of different things we're going to talk about aside from doing the normal, Q&A. So I understand a lot of people, I got it on my phone, I got it, and they told me I got a lot of questions about what I do for Thanksgiving. And so I think I'll start with that. Thanksgiving was great. My son called me up. He was going by my ex-wife's house. We invited a guy, Nick, his friend, my granddaughter, Karina's father, Dave, and another guy. He's a Philadelphia guy. He lives out here, street guy, Chris. So we got together. I was with them, my grandson, Nicky, a bunch of us. We had a great time. So we really had fun. We joked, we laughed. We went over the old days and when we got in trouble. When I got in trouble originally in Arizona with the ecstasy case, my son was in trouble, my daughter, my wife. So my son was there, my wife was there. Dave is like my son-in-law. I'm not sure if they ever got married, but it's like a son-in-law. And he went to jail too. And we all went to jail, except for my wife and my daughter. My wife really had no part in it. Either did my daughter. She was pregnant. What she did is her girlfriend asked her for ecstasy, and she says, I don't have any, and I don't take any. I'm pregnant. And she said, why don't you ask Dave? So she did. She asked Dave. I think she got her 2 or 3 pills. She gave it to her friend, and she got indicted in the case. She had no part in this fucking case whatsoever. But I don't want to, go on with that story. But the holiday was great. Had fun, relaxed, chilled out a little bit, and then came back and just hung out. Went to sleep early, and I had a good time. I got a lot of messages from a lot of you guys and people on my Facebook, on my Messenger. I was getting tons of messages. Guys that I'm working some of my projects with. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was time consuming again because I try to answer as many as I can. I can't really get to all of them. There's just too many. And I don't mean any disrespect if I didn't get to you or get back to you. There's just so many, it's like overwhelming. So I, try to go back with a little check, but I don't like giving somebody a check. Once in a while, if we've said something back and forth and I agree, I put a check. But when somebody's saying something nice, I want to say, you too, have a great day. I want to answer. And a lot of them I know.
Sammy.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Well, I'm talking and I'm looking at this phone and I just got a message. It's my wife texting me.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, I just realized the card is a business card, so if you don't close it, don't close it. So I don't know. No, that's what I'm saying about these fucking messages and shit like that.
I think there was a research study on that. Men are unable to multitask.
Should we take away the phone?
No, that other one. And then I want to announce that a good friend of mine, Keith. Alfredo.
And his wife, Natalie.
And his wife, Natalie. But I was going to get to, it's Keith first. In November now, this month, on the 29th, he'll be 57 years old. And his wife, Natalie, who, I love this woman. She's got such a beautiful face. Don't get mad at me, Keith, but I'm in love with your wife. And her birthday was October 17th, I believe. I don't have her age. We don't release women's ages and stuff like that. So enjoy these birthdays and parties. They're good friends of mine. They're from New Jersey. They invite me to their house. And so, you know, I wanted to do a little shout out for that. And Natalie, I am in love with you. I can't help it.
Who does she
You
look
got
like,
such a
Sammy?
beautiful face.
Who does she look like?
She looks like Cher. She's a spitting image of Cher. I'm telling you. And then he sent me pictures. They're out. They're a great couple, romantic couple. They're a nice couple. I like to play bullshit games, but they were at a beautiful restaurant, beautiful places. They got a beautiful marriage, a beautiful relationship. I won't interfere.
Yeah. That's a good thing, Sammy.
Especially that they're
Thank
that
you.
far away. So I wanted
Wonderful.
to say that to them. And I'm done with this phone. Let me put it over here. So anyway, I got a few other things. I wanted to talk about another guy that I've been talking to. And he did a book. And it's a great book. Yeah. It's Carmine. The name of it is Carmine and the 13th Avenue Boys. From Dyker Heights, 13th Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. This is my neighborhood. I come from that neighborhood. And he was serving the Brooklyn Colombo mob family. And the writer of it is Craig McGuire, great writer, you know, and he's pointed out different parts. I didn't read the whole thing fully yet, but I read a lot of parts of it. And it's a great book to have, to read about, if you want to hear about a little history, you know. So I want to show you like this. So you get a good look at it. And it's Carmine and the 13th Avenue Boys. You know, I went to 13th Avenue a long time ago. I liked the girl who was there. This is when I was young. And I liked the girl. We stood on 79th Street and Utrecht Avenue. It was different crews, stayed in different places. And I went there. There was a bar there on the corner. And I was looking to bunk into her. And I was having a drink at the bar. And there was a guy, Keith Monty, he called himself. I don't think his last name was Monty, but Keith. That was a big guy. I mean, he was drafted in football and into baseball. I mean, he was an athletic giant. Good guy, tough guy. And I was sitting at the bar, and he came in. He sat across from me. Hey, Sammy, what are you doing, bro? I said, not much. Just came up, have a drink. I wanted to see somebody. And he said, yeah, but you don't come from here. You come from 79th Street. And that annoyed me a little bit. So I said, what do you mean I don't come from here? I come from any place in this fucking neighborhood wherever the fuck I want to go. And I really didn't want to get into a fight with him. He would crush me like a pimple. But it really got me excited. We had a word or two back and forth. I had a leather jacket on. I ripped my jacket off. I said, let's go outside. I went outside, and I was ready to fight. Half the bar emptied out. And he wouldn't fight me, which shocked me. I didn't know why he didn't want to fight me. Broke it up. People got in the middle. Sammy, come on. You know, we're from the same neighborhood. You know, stop it. But we went back in the bar. I grabbed my drink. I had no intentions of leaving. I wasn't afraid. I knew I couldn't win this fight, but I wasn't going to back up. And I couldn't help it. I said, Keith, let me ask you a question, bro. What, Sammy? Why wouldn't you fight me, bro? I know you're not afraid of me. He said, Sammy, with my hands and your hands, you don't stand a chance. I'd cripple you. But I don't do this. I don't play with them. And I know your reputation, bro. I ain't fighting with you. Now, I don't know where the fuck he really got that, because at that time I didn't think I had that kind of a reputation. And I got it. I laughed a little bit. It says, I don't fuck with that either. I wasn't going to say I did, you know. And we had a drink together. We hugged before we left. And I said, Keith, I don't give a fuck if I win or lose in a fight. if you can beat me at man to man, as long as you don't get crazy with it, like I'm dead, I lost, you're stomping on my face, yeah, I'll come and kill you. But I would never do that. I know you're a better man than me as far as fighting. I'm no match for you. I'm a little guy compared to you, 6'1", 2", something like that, and I mean athletic. So this crew that where Carmine was staying, that I knew some guys in that crew back then. I guess they were probably a little older than Carmine. He was on the younger crew. So it's a great book. See it, read it, enjoy it. And the guy, if you want a book, type of book, he's a great writer. You know, I did a book myself. I know the difference when the guy's a good writer. This guy's a real good writer. I was hung up reading it already. I didn't get the whole thing finished yet, but I'm going to read the whole book. So that's a little shout out I wanted to do about his book. He sent me the book, he signed it, and Keith, and so now let's go to some of the questions that weren't answered last week.
Thank you, Sammy.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving us some time off last week.
It's my pleasure. The girls, listen, the girls are killing themselves here. So Tuesday afternoon, they left early. So they had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today is Monday, they're back. They needed that little break. I needed it too. You know, went out, but I still kept things going a little bit. I did the laundry and washed the floors and vacuumed the fucking rugs and shit. I did all the shit.
Wait till Christmas time.
So, yeah, you just needed it. You deserve it. I mean, and
Thank you.
They got it with pay.
Yay.
Yeah.
We're like, yay.
Got kids to feed.
Yeah. Christmas is around the corner.
Betty Ann's in the chat.
Right. Okay, so let's start with last week's questions. Okay, we have Aussie Wolfhound. Sammy, are you a Yankees fan, or do you have any favorite sports teams?
Of course, I like the Yankees, but I really did. I liked the Mets and the Jets. They were from New York, and they were both underdogs because they couldn't win. Yankees always won, so I was always rooting for the Mets and the Yankees because they didn't win that often, very rare actually. So I was rooting for them a lot of times, and but I love a New York team. But there was a lot of teams I liked. You know, when I went in prison, I stopped watching and paying attention to all sports. Because sports, guys watch it and there's 8 million arguments. And the worst thing if I watch a game, I love guys talking and bullshitting. I hate some guy getting nasty. Hey, shut the fuck up, I'm watching the game. So I try to stay away from sports, and I did. And I've been so many years in prison, and I didn't follow it. So right now, I'm almost out of the loop. I don't know who the fuck is who, what team, who's on what team, because I don't follow sports that much anymore. And it started in prison. But before that, I always liked sports. I played softball and stickball and stuff like that. So I always liked sports, but once I went to prison, sports wasn't my cup of tea anymore.
Okay. Mets fan says, hey, Sammy, come to New York for the holiday, and I'll treat you to dinner at Peter Luger's.
Peter Luger's, well, I'm tempted. They're one of the greatest steakhouses. They're not fancy. They're not fancy at all, but they're one of the best steakhouses around. They take their meat, they buy meat, tons of meat, and they age it where it gets green mold and everything. They cut the green mold off, and the steaks are so tender. It's in a really rough, I don't know how the neighborhood is now, but years ago, it was in a real tough neighborhood. You had to give the guy the keys so he would park it in a lot. Otherwise, when you came out, you didn't have a car. That's how tough the neighborhood was. But everybody loved them. There was a bunch of guys, a priest, one of the guys was a priest who owned it, and they came out with stuff on the table that you went out, you stayed there. It was almost like a family dinner. You know, they came out with little dishes of this and that and the other thing and drinks. The whole atmosphere was great. You know, it wasn't no fancy stuff, and but it was one of the best steakhouses, in my opinion, around as far as good food.
Okay. We have Nature Here and Now. He asks, "Hey Sammy, my dad had a slightly mysterious life. Ever hear the last name, I think it's Ignato or Ignoto? Does that sound familiar in the life? Did you ever come across that name?"
Where is that from? What family? What neighborhood? What state?
Go ahead, Chris. Put it in there. Don't know what neighborhood, what state, what family. Sammy will answer it for you. Okay, John Carl asks, "Sammy, do you like Lexus? I have a 2004 ES 330 and I absolutely love it. Can you also ask Sammy what he thinks about Biden's push for electric cars?"
As far as the Lexus, when I got arrested in Arizona, we had four. I bought four of them. Me, my wife, my daughter, and my son. The big Lexus it has the best ride. It's very smooth. Back then, it was very smooth. It went with the bumps and everything. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I never got one again. My favorite car is a Mercedes. I'm a fast driver. And when I'm on the highway with a Mercedes, you touch you'll be doing 60, 65 miles an hour. You touch the gas, boom, it takes off. You can make turns doing 60, 70. It hugs the road. It just, to me, was a real good driving car. It was almost like a fancy car, but a sports car all at the same time. The sound system was great. I loved the Mercedes. But second to that, I think, is Lexus. I don't know through the years the cars changed, but Lexus was a great car.
Okay. James asks, "Sammy, if you could do it all over again, would you?"
What?
He said, "If you could do it all over again, would you?"
You mean my life?
Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think I would. Obviously, there's some changes I would love to make. When you know it's Monday quarterback. When you know something, and something happens, you say, "Oh, it's like a football game. A guy throws a pass, and if he ran 3 more feet, he would have got that ball, but he didn't." So there's things I would change, but I loved the life. I loved a lot of people in the life. I despise some people, but there's a lot of people I loved. I loved their families and people, Just like talking with this guy, Keith, I'm joking about his wife, his looks. I mean, that's the way I am with people, and I enjoyed people in the Mafia. I'm not going to put them down. Some guys put them down. The life is evil. Everything is evil. Everything around me right now, from what I see, is evil. The President of the United States, this fucking hyena, the Vice President. I mean, there's so many things that are evil, but there's so many things that are good. I don't hate the United States because there's some people running it that are evil. So I do love the mob. I love a lot of people around it. I had a real good friend of mine, Johnny Holmes. He passed away. His daughter is a young woman. She has problems, and she talks to me. She calls me Uncle Sammy. I help her. I help her because I loved her father, her mother. They both passed away. If I could help her, I will. So what would I say? I hate him. I hate them. Stymie, Peruta, you name it, on and on and on. Even some guys that was involved in their murder, you might call me a hypocrite, Nicky Cowboy, Michael DeBat, and on and on and on. Louis Molito, I loved him for a long time. I grew up with him, but he did some horrible things, and he wound up getting whacked. That was the life. So the life has things you could call it evil, but there was times when we loved each other. There's times when we hurt each other. And, I was telling Anna and Amina earlier, a lot of times somebody asks me a question is that, how are you loyal to other people? What makes you loyal to other people? And my answer to the guy was, when I never questioned my friend's loyalty, I always knew he was loyal. And if I know that and I feel that about a person, whether it's a man or a woman, I feel the same way. I'm loyal to them. I love them. So I'm not going to knock them because we broke up or something. I have an ex-wife. She's sick. As you know, she's got COPD. I love her. I respect her. We're divorced. I don't hate her. I don't dislike her. Because she's always been loyal. Really, it's not easy being married to me, bro. It wasn't easy. And she's always been there. All the years I was in prison, every time I walked out of fucking prison, she was there with one of my kids. She's the mother of my children. She's the grandmother of my great grandchildren. So I talked to somebody in the gym today. You still go with your ex-wife? I thought you're divorced. Yeah, so what does that mean? I mean, I still care for her. She's a person. She's a good person. And I care about her. We're not going to be married. We're not married. Even if I was going to go with a woman, I would I would cheat. I wouldn't go, even though I could, publicly or something like that, because I would feel it would hurt her. So I don't. That's loyalty. Now, if you don't have loyalty, you're not going to get loyalty, and it's just, this whole conversation. Let me get out of this conversation, because if she's on this fucking thing listening to me, she's going to be fucking steaming mad.
Okay.
And she does have balls, this fucking little bitch. She'll fucking throw something at me.
We have Ryan Brown asks, Sammy, did you see that Joe the cat's grandson was busted with the Gambinos? And then he also asks, did you think Diane Giacalone should be held accountable for Willie Boy Johnson's death? She stepped over the line by outing him as an informant.
Well, let me get to the first part of that question. That Joe the cat was a good friend of mine. I liked him a lot. He was a made guy. And this is his grandson who got indicted?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Joe the cat's passed away a long time ago. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope the kid don't go to prison. If he goes to prison, I hope he don't go too long. As far as the second part of that, Diane Giacalone belongs in prison. She killed him. She knowingly knew that exposing him, he would die. She even said it, admitted it. So when you do that, Diane, you knowingly, it's like a boss giving an order. You knowingly did what you did knowing he was going to die, and he did. So I don't know how you live with yourself, how you justify that for yourself, but you're a murderer, just like me. But worse, I actually in a worse position. Everybody told you not to do that, the FBI, the other prosecutors, the other districts, everybody. But you wanted to make a name for yourself. You surely did. You killed Willie Boy Johnson. Not the guy who pulled the trigger. You did.
Okay. Somebody wrote Diane Guacamole.
What the fuck is this? When this thing don't go.
Okay. Softball Mom asks, is Sammy coming to Federal Hill? Sammy was friends with my uncle Jimmy Martone from the Patriarcha family.
I don't recognize the last name. There's a lot of guys, Jimmy. I may have recognized him through a nickname. I went up to we went to a wedding one time when they were going to kill Raymond Patriarcha, died, and he made his son, before he died, the boss. They were going to kill Raymond Jr. And we went to a wedding up there. John Gotti, myself, there was about 4 or 5 captains. Frankie LaCascio was there. I believe Joe Bush was there. And we talked with them. They had reasons why they wanted to kill him and take over the family. There was the Gunzier, it was the Boston guys, and that was really the power was in Boston, not in this small town he came from and he lived in. So he was in trouble. So we justified them stopping the hit. and we agreed that their reasons were justified for him to step down. So we made another meeting. I wasn't at that meeting, but John Gotti was, and told Raymond, you have to step down. We stopped the hit. You can't win. He's sitting with the power of the family, and his reasons are justified. What you could do is get your wife, pack up, leave town. Nobody's going to hurt you. We stopped that. If you stay, we can't do anything, and you'll be killed. So I did know some people from up there. A lot of them I didn't even know their names. I met them in a couple of these meetings. So that's something that we did. Mainly John. John was the boss. So, but we went up to support him. I was there. Frank Elicasso was there. Like I said, Joe Butch, a few captains.
Okay. Let's get some real quick shout outs. We have Francisco Horna, Peter Allen MMA, and his beautiful little Lily Rose. Johnny G, Paul H, El Gato, Betty Ann's in the house, Xavier James, John Carl, Bruno 67, and your viewers. This is unbelievable. Like, I'm looking at everybody that's like tuning in right now. We have Norway, Slovakia, Lebanon, Boston, Ireland, Cornwall, London, Portugal, Scotland, even in the States. I mean,
wow.
All throughout the
Wow.
U.S.
So we're all over the world.
You're literally global right now.
Yeah, we are. And that's a beautiful thing. When I did my book, The Underboss, we sold way over 1 million copies, and then it sold in 14 different countries. Peter Moss, who's passed away, was amazed. He said, Sammy, we knocked it out of the ballpark. So it was a beautiful thing then, and it's a beautiful thing now. Now, I'd like to ask a question. I'm going to do something. Everybody, Anna and Amina are making faces at me. Nobody wants me to say this, but I want to ask your opinion, your honest opinion. I'm going to do some big things in the very near future. And I wanted to do a surgery, a nip and tuck, a plastic surgery. I'm getting older. I got wrinkles, a couple of wrinkles are on top of wrinkles. So I wanted to do a nip and tuck. Actors get it, actresses get it. Everybody's telling me no. But I want your honest opinion. You know, if I'm ugly, don't be too honest. But I want your honest opinion. You know, I'm up in age. I'll be 79 in March. A lot of people say for health reasons, don't go under the knife, don't do this, don't do that. But I want to do it. So my ex-wife is dead against it. Everybody, Anna, Amina, nobody wants me to do these things. Do it. It's good enough like it is. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I'd like to ask all of you guys too. I didn't make up my mind. There's an appointment on December 11th. So when I go back to this guy, we made arrangements already, and I had canceled because I had issues. I had to go to doctors for the cardiologist and people like that. I wanted to get all of that squared away, so we pushed it off until the 11th. So now I'm going to go back and talk to him on the 11th, and I'm going to say, listen, don't go crazy. Just do a little nip and tuck. A little bit of this turkey thing here, man. Betty Ann, I want you to give me the first answer. There's a little wrinkle here and there. I want to get rid of it. That's, you know, just, I feel that when we're going to do these big projects, movies, they're going to ask me, I know this is going to happen, they're going to ask me to go on talk shows. When you sign these kind of a contract, the actors get it, I would get it, even though I'm not acting, but they'll make me go on all these talk shows and bullshit like that to push the show. That's normal. So I know I'm going to go through this. And I was talking to some of the friends of mine. Billy Malone is an actor. He's a producer. He's part of one of the shows I'm going to do. And he's told me, I had him this morning, oh, Sam, you don't need it, bro. Listen to me. You're up in age, but you don't need it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I wanted to ask this question to you guys. I don't know how many of you are out there right now. And just give me an answer, yes, no, I don't need it. if you want to say I'm handsome, I'll accept that. Don't say.
Everybody's
Do you
saying
want your
no.
answer?
Huh?
You have an overwhelmingly
No.
no. Absolutely no.
Everybody is saying no.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, they said you're perfect just the way you are.
You know, a friend of mine told me, what scared me, a friend of mine told me, Sammy, up in age, you got some wrinkles, but that's part of life. What's going to happen is you don't have hair, you're not a woman who could put makeup on, so the fear is that you're going to look pulled, you're going to look fake, and that's going to hurt you. Now, when I was told that, a very good friend of mine told me that, and that made me think, maybe she's right. So I'm gonna, maybe when I go there on the 11th, I'm gonna say either do it very, very lightly or don't do it at all. So if you're saying I get a no overwhelming, now I didn't want to do it and then come out and make believe I didn't do it. Listen, I don't have to hide from these things. If I'm going to do it, I would say I'm going to do it. I might not be on for a week or two because I'm doing it, but I'm going to be truthful and honest like I always am and tell the truth. But I'll consider those answers when I'm done. I'll look at all those answers and stuff. I appreciate that. And it's more, a lot of people are worried about, it's 4 or 5 hours that you're under. And they want to know, that's why I went to the cardiologist. They wanted to know what the cardiologist was going to say, if he gave an approval, yes or no. I didn't get an answer from him yet. So maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Let's see. But I wanted to be honest and say that's what's been on my mind. I was thinking of doing it. But it is what it is. Sometimes you age gracefully is an old saying too. Women could get it because even if they're a little scar or this or that, they could put some makeup on and get rid of it. A guy, I'm not going to come here with all kinds of makeup. Now, I know another thing when it comes to another question, another thing I'm going to come out with. I've looked in the guide. Men have their lifespan in the United States now is 73 years old. A woman's lifespan in the United States is 85. So
where's he going?
I'm going to identify myself as a woman so I can live to 85. No, it's just a joke. Huh?
Okay, real quick, just 2 more things. Handing it over to Anna. James wants you to know that he has your book. He's read it. He loves it, and he reads it every night. And then you have a viewer in Lebanon who wants you to give a shout out to his brother. You ready for this? Let's hear you pronounce the name.
What is it?
Asim Ibrahim.
Asim Ibrahim, I mean. Was I close?
That was close. That was good.
Asim Ibrahim.
Oh, yeah. A little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
There you go.
man.
Yeah, Habibi. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Anna. You guys keep coming with your chats.
And why I'm using these matches is I lost my lighter.
Sammy, you're looking more like Thomas Shelby every day. Sammy, you got a lot of feedback. You're handsome. Don't change. Don't touch anything. Me and my mom talk about you, how handsome you are. Like, no. The chat just started flying as soon as you started talking about that.
All right, I'm going to take everybody's, opinion on it, and I listen to opinions, and then I make up my mind what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I'm starting to think, just stay the way you are, do your thing, and when God takes you, takes you.
Amen. Amen. I'm going to jump into these super chats. Sammy from Liam Patrick. Welcome back, Liam. Hey, Sammy, was the Bergen crew broken up after John became boss, with Gene and Angelo each getting their own crew?
No. It all stayed the same, but they were on. Angelo got promoted to become a captain. And I think Gene was a captain for a very short time, and John took him down. I don't know why. And I think Angelo ran most of the crew with him. John's was, even when he was the boss, he was a hands-on. He did in the Bergen Hunt and Fish. He was there, every day, talking with guys. The same thing down in Manhattan. He had guys showing up. So, no, they all didn't have their own crew.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. Gengaros. Hope I pronounced that right. Hey, Sammy. Napoleon Bonaparte was born in Corsica. Is he considered an Italian figure or hero? Are Corsicans considered Italians?
I'm not sure. I was asked that question a long time ago. I just watched something about Napoleon. He was a tough little bastard. He was small, but he was really a tough guy in wars and stuff like that. He fought his ass off. And he was very, very strategic. He was a smart guy. That's where they come out with that thing. Somebody said, I have a Napoleon complex because I'm short and I want to fight. That's bullshit. But Napoleon was a great leader. Not for certain parts of countries that he was fighting against, but he was a great warrior. And I'm not sure what that part is considered. See, to me, there's a lot of people who are Sicilian or Italian of different dialects who lived in other parts that are not considered Sicily, but they were Sicilian. My mother, where she was born, I don't think that's actually Sicily, even though she was Sicilian when she was born, because her mother and father were Sicilian. And then they moved to Sicily. And then they were shipped to the United States. So I don't know each and every section of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Another one from Jen Garros. Did you know Thomas Agro, and is it true Agro and John Gotti killed Thomas Tommy DeSimone?
Well, no, it's not true that they killed him. Paul Vario and the Lucchese people, they killed him themselves for what he did. So that story is false. Tommy Agro was a real rough and tumble guy. Very dangerous. On the Roy DeMeo type of guy, but not a serial killer. But he was extremely dangerous. He would volunteer for murders and shit like that. A lot of guys like me, I'm sitting like a jerk playing cards and I get called in, Sammy, come on, take a ride with me to the boss's house. And I wound up getting the Johnny Keys hit. So I got hits that I was ordered. I didn't like going out and, I did everything I had to do, but some guys were just excessive, even in their language. I know I've heard some tapes with Tommy Agro talking to guys on the phone. I mean, he was brutal. I didn't handle myself like that, but and I met him. He wasn't like that with me, but he was a real tough guy. And but that story about them killing him is not true.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. David W. Did you know a Jimmy Roberts from Ozone Park or Little Joe from Ozone Park used to frequent a bar called McLaughlin's on Cross Bay Boulevard?
The first one, Jimmy Joe, that name is very familiar to me. I can't picture the face. The name is familiar, but I can't picture who he is. So I might know him, I might just know his name and really didn't know him personally, but the name is familiar. The other guy, Joe, who knows? I know a million Joes.
Elgato wants to know, hey Sammy, did any alley cats sneak into the Ravenite anytime? Grazie. What do you define alley cat?
No, I know what alley cats are. So, I mean, I don't know. We didn't do that on a regular basis. It happened to I guess, occasionally, but you don't do that. We always had FBI news people watching us all the time, and you didn't want that. I mean, you didn't want that kind of reputation doing that. So even though we did have a reputation of alley-catting it around a little bit, but
well, if you leave milk out, they don't stop coming back.
Yeah.
Leave the tuna. Dave Van Eaton, was John ever at the farm? I couldn't see him walking through horse shit in his white loafers.
No, I had to think for a second. No, John was never at my farm. John bought a house in Pennsylvania, like a little country home, and me and my wife, Deborah, one day we left my farm and we drove to his farm. It wasn't a farm, it was a little country home. We went there for the day. I think he hated it. He didn't want to even have that. But yeah, John wasn't a farm guy. Yeah. But
Interesting.
no, he wasn't there. My whole crew was there on and off constantly. A whole bunch of guys were there. You know, it was a way to get away from the hustle and bustle of the life. When you're doing that 24/7, you know, I used to have a Bronco, driving the Bronco there. Sometimes my family would go first. They would spend the whole summer there. And on the way there, when I got off the highway, it was in Cream Ridge, New Jersey, the smell of the grass, there was these grass farms. So they cut the grass, the odor in sycamore trees. When I got close to my farm, even the smell of horse shit was pleasant. It was different, and it was totally relaxed. I was like a different person. We had a pool in there. I would go in the pool, go in the barn with the stalls. I'd walk around with my wife around the track just to take a walk. So it was a different thing than the everyday hustle and bustle of the mob. So I enjoyed the farm. No, John was never there.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Sounds
beautiful.
beautiful.
You know, I got involved in a tax evasion case, and I got slaughtered with a bunch of things. And I had a choice. I lived in Staten Island. I had to sell that house. They put a lien on it. They were going to take that. My wife and kids lived there. So I had to get the money, I needed $350,000. I sold the farm. But my wife, the day I sold the farm, cried like a baby. She did. My kids loved it. I had a horse for each one of my kids. It was just a great getaway. I hated selling it, but I can't sell the house that I'm living in. I can't go living on a farm day to day. So it was a nice, resort for me. But that's the first thing that had to go, and I sold it. I think I got $350,000, and the whole $350,000 was, I think I owed $450. So $350 disappeared, and another $150. I don't even think I had the full $150. I think I had $100, and another $50. I went and take a loan, I paid that off, and then I got even. So it was a bitch.
Thank you, Sammy. J. Marie wants to know, did the family ever have dealings with Al Sharpton and his goons back in the day?
No, I didn't have any thing to do with Al Sharpton. I didn't like him. I still don't like him. From what I understand, Michael Franchise had some interactions with him. Al Sharpton was an informant. So I don't know how many people know that, but I heard that from Michael, and I heard it from other people. So I know Michael Franchise had a few transactions with him, but I never had an actual transaction with him. There was a black kid who was killed in our neighborhood, a gang or something, and it was a killing. And he was going to do a march coming through our neighborhood on 20th Avenue in Brooklyn. Gas pipe came to me and said, Sammy, we get some guys, we get some shooters, we kill this fuck. Let's not make him walk through our neighborhood. I said, are you fucking crazy? We kill him, there'll be 8 billion people tomorrow. Just get all the tough kids, tell them to get the fuck out of the way, let him walk through. Let him do his little march and get rid of him, and that's the end of him. And that's what we did. So if I would have listened to Gas Pipe, we would have killed him. Not that I liked him. I didn't save him because I liked him. But I thought under those conditions, you're going to kill him. It's going to look like it's a racist thing now. And we're going to have marches, and God knows what will happen. So just let it alone. Leave it alone. And we did.
You know, it reminds me of the movie with James Gandolfini's son, The Many Saints of Newark, when a lot of the movie was around the rioting and between like the blacks and the cops and stuff in New York back in the day, or Newark or wherever it was, and there was the fires and the riots and all that stuff. Do you remember hearing anything about that?
No, not really.
It's
but
crazy how history...
I knew that would definitely happen. It would be a disaster.
Yeah.
You know, the one kid got killed. That's enough. The cops found out. I think somebody went to prison. It's over.
Yeah.
You know, you don't, once you bring it too far and you start hurting other people, now they're not going to sit back. Everybody's going to be, God knows how many people wind up dead over it. So now I was against it.
Jeff in the super chat said if they cast Danny DeVito to play you in the movie, that's when you know you should get the surgery. Breaking balls. Breaking balls. Ryan Brown, I don't understand your question. It says, along with the Gambinos, to do with the carting and construction business, they are also digging up farmland looking for bodies in Orange County, New York.
I don't know about the Orange County with the you know, there's a lot of guys who got dumped and they went into places where there was landfills, which the garbage went. So Roy DeMayo used to chop up a body in 5 different parts, put it in different garbage things. It went to the garbage dumps, and it was done like that. I know the Gambino family was extremely powerful with the garbage, the Jimmy Brown. Not that he's done anything like that. The Lucchese's had a lot of power in that with the dumps and stuff like that. So, you know, and another reason for it, this is going to sound crazy, but when they dump the bodies, they cut them up small because when they dump them in the thing, bulldozers are pushing that dirt and stuff and garbage all around all the time. There's 8 billion rats, and they eat because they're eating the garbage.
Oh my God.
So they actually eat the bodies and everything. So you're never going to find it.
Oh, jeez.
You know, and the machines, the bones are broken up. The people, when they disappeared in those dumps, and these are huge dumps,
Yeah.
you're never going to find them no more. Maybe somebody could bunk into it by accident one day, but normally people are not found in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
How small do they cut them? Like, because I would
Well,
think
they'll
like
take an arm
arm,
and a
yeah.
leg, you know, leave the torso, maybe take the head off. I don't know. I mean, that really wasn't my thing.
Amina's getting nauseous.
Nina, give her some M&M's. She
Give her a shot of tequila.
give her tequila.
Speaking of beverages, huge shout out to Betty Ann for sending a lovely care package.
That was great, Benny Ann. That was great. I mean, you got some wine in there. You got some stuff and cookies in there. I took some pictures of it. I didn't really open it yet, but I got it. It's still sealed. I got it right on my conference table, and we're going to open it. I'm waiting for where I get company and I open it up. So, but I appreciate it. You know, you're really a good person, really. A little wacky, you know, but so ain't we all? And but you got a good heart and a good personality, and you're a good person. I appreciate your love and affection.
Thank you, Sammy. Yes, Betty Ann. Sammy Francisco is asking if you can shout out his loose. Francisco, what are you saying, love? What are you?
I asked him, but you know.
I feel like I'm sitting at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party
His
right
what?
now. His loose?
His loop?
Loose.
Loose?
Loop?
Let's see if he says something.
Yeah. Where are you, Francisco, in the chat?
He's there.
In the meantime, Steve Jackson wants to know, hey, Sammy, were there any guys in the life who hated their nicknames or had nicknames that they were just like made fun of a lot for?
Yeah. You know, so not everybody gets a nickname that they like. You know, when I first got the nickname, the Bull, I was a kid and I hated it because kids would tease you with that name. And but later on it stuck and I got used to it, and it's like part of me now. It's my name. But there's a lot of guys, you know, Vinny Big Nose and stuff, and he's got a fucking nose like that's really coming out. I don't think he's too happy with that.
That was
you know, so Nazambique was Paul. Nazambique, he had a big nose too. Nazambique, to try to, if you get caught on tape, he's liable to be saying, who's Nazambique? I don't know, Paul. Who the hell is that?
Jimmy Tiny Nuts?
You know, what's his name? Louis DeBona, before he got killed, they gave him a name, Jelly Belly.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and you know, it was on tape. When I cooperated, the agents asked me, who the fuck was Jelly Belly? And I said, you don't know?
Oh, my. Too much gabagoo?
Yeah.
Gabe R in the super chats. Sammy, I'm debating who has the best hair of all time, Sammy the Bull or Michael Kelso. Yeah, that Diane Sawyer interview, actually. Where's that? Can we see it on the frame? That picture of you? Yeah, a little bit. The Diane Sawyer picture?
Yeah.
It's for sale right now, guys. It's on sale, actually. Big holiday sale going on.
Yeah, big holiday sale going on with the pictures. I'm going to show you the picture. I did a video and you saw the video. I don't know, but I got a couple of pictures I'm going to show you that we did, and they're on sale now, too, especially for the holidays. A lot of the people, I sold about 5 or 6 of them already, right? And people are asking me, about it. So I'm going to show the picture. I got it on the table there a little while before we're done. I'll show you the picture if you didn't see it already.
Yeah. Okay, Elsid 305. Sam, is it considered a mob move to use a pool cue to stop a woman from testifying in a... Okay, see, we don't... everybody that knows Sammy knows his feelings on how he feels about women. And Sammy, go ahead.
No. no weapons or no pool cues against women or nothing like that. Women. You know that saying that every strong man has got a good woman behind him? Now that's true. Not every man has a good woman behind him. I'm not saying that. Sometimes you don't. And that's where the divorce courts and bullshit like that, walk away, do your thing. But we don't, it's not manly to beat up a woman, hit a woman. They're no match for us physically. I mean, I even had an argument in prison. I said, no woman, I think, could beat me up, even at my age. And they wanted to hook up a fight with Ronda Rousey.
Oh, geez.
So I said, no, get the fuck out of here. I wouldn't fight her for no money. She'd probably twist me up like a pretzel. She's got all that judo bullshit and stuff. And she's a tough little broad.
Oh my gosh.
But we don't do that. We don't do that at all.
Terrible. Okay. Gangaros is asking, do you support releasing Leonard Petir or Mamiya Abu Jamal? I don't know who these people are.
Do I support releasing them from where? Prison?
I don't know. Let us know who these people are. Please, a little background or context. Thank you so much. Dave Van Eaton in the super chat. Anthony R. spoke about a Gambino member or associate who was called the Jew, even though he wasn't. And what was that all about?
Yeah, I had the conversation with Anthony when he said they called him the Jew. He wasn't Jewish. Jews have a little bit of a reputation to be a little tight with money. They don't give it up that easy. So maybe he had that kind. They called him that because of that. I don't know. I heard that thing even about. A guy was a comedian. He said, they said that Jesus Christ was Jewish. And the guy says, no, there's no way that he was Jewish. He was Italian. And he gave all these reasons why he was Italian. So he said, and the Last Supper, Jesus picked up the tab. No fucking Jew in his right mind would pick up a tab for 12 other fucking people.
Oh my God.
So, but it was a joke, and so they probably make a joke out of this guy for that reason. I don't know.
Yes. Okay.
Steve Lobel is a very good friend of mine. He's Jewish.
Yeah.
So I break his balls all the time. We were together. We were really close. I still love him. He's a great guy. We're not as close as we were. He helped me and my family when I was away in prison. So I'm really, really close with him. And I tell him, when we were talking about a deal, we were together. And I said, bro, this is going to be a hard fucking deal. Why, the guy said. I said, he's still got his bar mitzvah fucking money. He ain't coming up with no fucking money.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So that's teasing each other with things like that. So.
That's funny. Super chat, Sammy, what kind of guy was Ralphie Bones?
Ralphie Bones. Now, I know the name. Who the fuck was he now? Let me think. Ralphie Bones. What family was he with?
Two Beloveds, let us know what family he was with.
Ralphie Bones. And I know the name. I can't picture the face. or where he was.
Let's see. Golfe. Sammy, big fan. I have a question. Do you know if there were any crime families in Ohio during the Mafia's peak? I have family who got pinched back in the 80s.
Oh, Ohio definitely had Mafia families. There was Mafia families almost all over the country. I think it was in 21 states in the United States. Even Texas at one time had a Mafia family, believe it or not. And they lost, the commission and everybody, they lost touch with them. Whether they disappeared, whether they didn't want to talk anymore, belong anymore, I don't know. But there was at one point a Mafia family there, and then it disappeared. So there was Mafia families in Ohio, Detroit, and all over the place. Kansas City. I even had a beef with a guy who told me he was with the Kansas City people. I didn't know up until that point. And then I checked into it, and they said there is a crew down in Kansas City. Some of those families are very small. You know, like in Buffalo, that's another, they're small families. So there's a lot of families around that are very, very small. Like in New York, you got 5 families. You have the Cavalcantis in Jersey. You got people in Philadelphia mob. You got a lot of families running around. It's confusing. But a lot of these states, they have one family. It's a hell of a lot easier. You don't hear a lot about them. They have a boss, an underboss, a consigliere, a couple of captains, 8, 10, 20 maid guys, and that's it. And they make a ton of money, and they don't have big problems because it's all under one roof. So the arguments, if there is an argument, is settled right away. It's a pretty good policy, actually.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Gunsmoke the Dawn. Sammy, do you remember Frank Fiordalino from your prison days? He was with the Bonanos.
Franco?
Fiordalino?
Again, the last name don't ring a bell, and I know a lot of Franks. I knew a lot of guys with the Bonanno family. You know, I had good relationships with them, so I did know a lot of them.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Kenneth Gilmore. This is a Goodfellas question. Why did Tommy tell Spider to dance like the Oklahoma Kid when he was shooting him?
Yeah. I think that was more, I don't know if that part was true. I mean, I think that was just Hollywood at that part. I don't know if that was actually true. And he was shooting at him and doing all that bullshit. Listen, Tommy was a little fucking crazy. So he did a lot of crazy things, and he paid the price for it.
Yeah. There's a chat in here that's saying Roy DeMeo's nickname was the Rooster. Did you ever hear that?
Roy DeMeo's name was the Rooster?
Nickname was the Rooster. Is that true or false?
The Rooster, why? When he had too much cock? I don't know.
Too
He
much
was cock-a-doodle doing all over the fucking place. I never heard that nickname. No.
Interesting.
I never heard it. I mean, he could have.
Awesome. Here is Elgato. Elgato, I see you. What did Tony do wrong in the Hector situation? The Scarface movie, grazie. The Hector situation. Elgato, expand, elaborate.
Yeah.
You know, Sammy, we were talking about Goodfellas. I had a question to you from like a woman's point of view. There's a scene in there where Karen is in the kitchen and he's about to leave. Henry Hill's about to leave to go on his day, and she's like, "Wait a minute, I need some money to go shopping." And he was like, "How much do you need?" And he whips out this stack, and he's like breaking her off all this cash, and like she's hooking him up with a little,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I asked you about it, and you're like, "No, never. My wife could spend whatever she wanted." So elaborate on that for our viewers, because I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, well, if you're talking about me with my wife, she could spend anything she wanted. She wasn't greedy. She wasn't selfish. She really never asked for anything. My wife is an animal nut. She loves animals. She loves people. She's private. So she could have had anything she wanted. Anything I ever bought for her, she never even asked for. If I bought her a fancy car, like I bought the Lexus or I bought her a jewelry. She was just overwhelmed with it and never really asked for nothing. She never asked to go buy fancy clothes. But if she did, she would have got it in 2 seconds. Go ahead. You know, she never asked for her own credit card or anything like that. So, but I'm sure that a lot of guys, you know, especially when they have money, they're making money, treat their wives the same way, treat them pretty good. You know, when you look at that and you look at those movies, how about I lived in a house, apartment with her, where we were 2-3 months behind in rent. We didn't have money to pay fucking rent, let alone buy clothes or do this or do that or do the other thing. And they're there. She stood there. They stayed there through all of that. So yeah, and when I became a big shot, so to speak, and I got a lot of money, would I begrudge her something? It's just like now we're divorced, but she's my pal. She's always been there for me in prisons, a book, Christmas card, birthday card, money for commissary. Every time I got out of prison, when I walked out of a fucking prison, she was there with some of my kids or by herself. So we're divorced, but there's a lot of meaning. Like I said, I got kids, we got kids together, grandchildren together. Do we want to choke each other on occasion? Probably. I know I do, and I'm sure she does too. You know, because that's side. We don't choke each other, and we don't go against each other, and we don't try to hurt each other, whether physically or mentally. We try to not do those things. So, you know, my company is Deborah's Way, and that's really mine, but it's hers, and we don't even have an argument. That was her talking about it when I first got on, about a credit card. She's telling me, no, you can put it there. We had a credit card, and I don't know why, we put it under her name like personal instead of corporate. So I said, take it off. Why should it be personal? If something comes on that credit card, then it's her personally. Let's keep it with the business. But she talks to back. No, it don't matter. You could. If I'm short money for payroll or I'm short something, she'll go to the bank, which she don't have much, and she'll say, here, you want this? I'd rather go borrow it. I'd rather go take a shower clothes. No, I'm good. So that's what a relationship is, back and forth. The guy, Keith, I spoke with earlier about, and him and his wife, I saw pictures of them, beautiful places. That's beautiful. And that's, you know, a lot of people don't believe in karma. I believe in karma a little bit. What goes around comes around. You want to treat a woman like a piece of shit, sooner or later some woman is going to treat you like a piece of shit. It's just karma. So, and it gives you off your reputation, what you are. Yeah. A woman will look at a guy who treats a person as a man's man. She may not go to bed with you, she may not love you, but she's going to respect you because she knows how you are towards women or towards people, and you understanding. Now, there's a lot of women that don't deserve understanding, but you walk away from them. Get away from them. That's all you do. She don't need you, you don't need her. Go on. There's a million fish in the ocean.
Such great advice, Sammy, especially in society today with, you know, where masculinity and femininity is.
It's that way. You know, and you get so many women who were treated like shit from a husband through a divorce. They went through murder. They meet you and you treat her halfway decent, you got a good woman. Because she's used to the other garbage. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not calling the guy garbage, even though he is. If he's treating her really horrible, you don't do that. It's not a manly thing.
Absolutely. I love it, Sammy. Thank you. Dexter Morgan. Sammy, how did Butterass get his nickname?
I don't really know how Butterass got his nickname. He was one of the Chicos. He's one of the uncles, Frankie the Chico and all of them. They were a real tough, good family. Frankie Fab is a nephew. his father, I knew his father well. The whole family was good people. Butterass was a fucking loudmouth. And I had asked, they all got made. One was a captain, one was made, another one, Frankie the Chico, was the boss when he died. I had asked Frankie, because I knew Butterass all my life, how come you're not going to make him? He said, Sammy, I don't even want to get in the story, but we'll never make him. He never explained why, but for them not to make him like that as one of them, they had no respect for him, no love for him. They didn't hurt him. They left him around, and he was just a loudmouth. I knew his daughters. His daughters were really nice people, his family. But how he got that ass, Butterass, maybe that's why he never got made.
That's why he never got made?
Yeah, maybe somebody put butter on his ass or something. I don't know why he had that name.
Oh, God. It reminds me of the famous French movie with Marlon Brando and the butter scene with the girl on the floor.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this before. Manny Rosa. Sammy, who were the actual shooters at Sparks that whacked Paul and the driver? Because I know you and Gotti pulled up to make sure that they were gone.
Yeah, well, there was 4 shooters. I don't really want to give up their names, even though they're out there and they're going to come out on my scripted show. So I'm talking about doing a scripted show, and I don't want to start giving up things that may irritate them. They don't want me to talk about some of those things. But the names have been out there, and they'll be out in my scripted show. You'll see them. They're going to all be portrayed, who they are, who they were, and everything like that. So.
Nice.
And there was 11 guys. You know, a lot of guys, like I hear guys say, well, you weren't the shooter, or all that stupid shit. It don't matter who the shooter is. When you're on a hit, you're involved in that hit. You can be the shooter, or you can be the backup shooter who saves everybody. You ought to be the guy who dukes it out with the cops. Everybody has a job to kill those people and to protect the shooters. If cops show up, everybody's in a war. So nobody's less of a guy or more of a guy because he shot. Every one of those 11 guys could shoot you in a minute. But not everybody takes that job. There's people who plan it. I was a planner, mostly. A planner of the hit. Some guys are just thugs. They'll pull the trigger. What does it take to pull the trigger? Boom. He knows nothing. He's just a thug. The guy you have to worry about is the planner. I watched the movie on Netflix just recently. I was talking to one of my advisors in California. I told her to watch it. The name of it is The Killer on Netflix. She asked me when I was talking to her the other night, you know, I watched it, what'd you find interesting in it? I said, I found this interesting. The guy is a killer. He's an assassin. And he goes around doing contract work. And he talks about it. And when he's talking about it, I felt it. I felt that's me. That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I think. The hardest part of a hit, he said, and I believe it's true, is the time element. If I get a hit, I'm going to watch you. I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to get to know everything you do, every place you go. What time you go, what time you go to sleep, what time you get up, what time you go to work. Are you married? What time you meet your wife? What time do you eat? Do you have a girlfriend? Then I'm going to plan where I'm going to kill you and how I'm going to kill you. So that movie, he was doing all that talking. And that's exactly how I thought. So that's a killer. That's an assassin. So if you ever want to watch it, it's on Netflix. I got nothing to do with it, so I'm not pushing it, but I saw it. It's not a great movie, but it hit me in a way that, you know, and nothing is personal. It's not personal. It's a job to him. And you hear him talk. Boy, oh boy, I felt like I was talking. So if you want to watch something like that
Wow.
and understand maybe how I thought back then and what I was,
It's awesome.
maybe you'll look at this, they'll hate me. They'll say, go
Like,
fuck yourself, go
whoa.
get plastic surgery, go kill yourself.
You guys like the like button. Like the like button.
Yeah, like,
Hit the like button.
telling everybody, hit the like.
Like the
press
like.
like. You know, more importantly, these people are breaking my chops with subscribers. I got a lot of subscribers. But anytime you go on and you can press subscribe, if you didn't do it already, press subscribe. These big companies were talking to me. They love that. I give them the story, then I give them how many subscribers, how many views I get, and they love that. It motivates them. It excites them. It's candy for them. It's not money for me or anything like that, but it's candy for them. And I can't wait to start these movies. You know, I can't wait. Hopefully, now that Christmas comes, Hollywood shuts down. So probably in January, we'll have everything signed and sealed, and we'll start working on post, they call it. That's getting locations, directors, actors, actresses. I'm going to enjoy that. I haven't done that yet. I did the Salvatore. I enjoyed that. So,
You're gonna be very busy, Sammy.
yeah. I'm going to be real busy.
Awesome. All right. We have a couple more super chats. Let me just grab just a couple more. I know we're a little over time, but I really want to get to these, Sammy. A Mets fan wants to know, do you think Chin should have won an Oscar for Best Actor?
You know, he got away with that for a very long time. You know, I never thought of it. He actually put himself, he had doctors he had on the payroll, would put him in the nut house for a while, and he'd go into this place and stay there. And he really did a job. And for years they couldn't get him because you can't indict, you could indict, but you can't take a guy to trial who can't understand. He's, you know, if you catch him in a crime, what they do with those people is say, well, you can't because you don't understand. But what they do, judges, is they'll put him in a nut house. And he stays there. He don't come out of the nut house until the doctors say, no, he's sane, and then they put him back on trial. They'll put him on trial. So it's a hairy situation. But he deserves an award for that, I think. Because let me tell you, he was smart as a fucking, he was smart. Tough, smart, and ballsy. It took fucking balls for a boss to do all of that. And run a family. Run it to the T. So Chin was no joke. And I sat with him on a number of different beefs and occasions. He was fair, tough, and by every inch of the fucking goes in Osha with him. When you sat with him, that's what you got to expect. You better know goes in Osha 100%. And I don't know if I should tell this story with Scapaci. Scapaci, let me tell you this quick story. You're going to love this story. I did a video. Some of you might have saw it. Louis Melito gave me a call. He said, listen, Sammy, Nicky Cowboy got shot in front of my after-hour club by some kid. They took off. And he survived. Got shot in the chest. So Louis Melito called me up and said, Sammy, Scapaci told me a story that he was in a meeting with these kids. They're going to kill you. I'll come and pick you up. We'll go by his house. He came and picked me up. We went by Scapaci's house. So he said he was with these kids, and they were worried that they did this thing with Nicky Cowboy, that there would be a comeback, and it would be me. So they wanted to kill me. They went to their guy, Georgie Rush, their guy in the Genovese family, and he gave them an okay. A May guy gave these kids an okay to kill me. When I left Scapaci's house, me and Louis, on the way home to my home in Staten Island, I said, do you believe that? I mean, that don't even sound real, but that sounds crazy. He said he gave us the car to make it a car. It was a red, I think, Volvo or some shit like that. Gave us the plate. We'll check it out. We got to my house. It was on a dead-end street. When we got in, lights at the other end of the dead-end part, lights went on. And the car started coming up slow. And we were coming up in front of my house. So I see the car is like a maroon red, like a reddish color. And I think it's a Volvo. I said, what's the plate? You got the plate numbers he gave you? Here, give me that paper. I look at the plate number, and sure as God made apples, that's the plate. I don't have a gun. Louis don't have a gun. What do we do? I don't know. As soon as he gets a little closer, step on the fucking gas. Even if you got to sideswipe him, bang into him and go the other way, what are we going to do? We step on the fucking gas. He steps on the gas and gets out of the street. We make a U-turn, we follow him. Louis says, what do you want me to do? Crash into him. I want us to use in this fucking car. Crash the fuck into them. We're doing 60, 70 miles an hour on Victory Boulevard. There's a light. He goes right through a red light. We're still coming, and there's a police car. The police car puts on his light, his siren, and he turns right into him. We almost hit the police car. Louis jammed the brakes. We went sideways. But he went after them. It was real. Now we went on the war pit. We find out who's who. It's a long story. I'm not going to tell the whole story at this time. But end result is that Chin calls a meeting. He sends his brother Mario Gigante, Matty the Horse. This guy was with Matty the Horse, was his captain. Paul sent me, Louis Melito, Tommy Bellotti down to the sit-down. And they talked. I was told, let Tommy do the talking. Don't talk, because I was fucking hot. So they talked. They let him talk, Georgie Rush. They let him talk. And he says, well, you know, the kids told me that the guy, Sammy, I thought he was a Jew. I couldn't sit there no more. I said, hold up. Tommy says, no, hold up. No, you hold up. A Jew? What if he was a Jew? You're just going to kill a guy because he's Jewish? It don't matter? Number one. Number two, how many Sammys do you have who are in your family? I know of a guy who's a Gabardine, a captain, Sammy Meatballs. If somebody would have came to me and said, I'm going to kill this guy, Sammy, where? Who is he? I'm not just going to give you an okay. I don't give a fuck what he is. If he's Jewish, Irish, I don't care what he is. Matty the Horse just put his fucking head down. He was fucking sick when I said that. A little while later, Mario Gigante said, hold up. My brother Chin sent me here just to listen. I listened to enough. I'm done. The meeting's over. Sammy, no disrespect for you. The meeting's over. And I'm going to go see my brother, and then we'll get back to you. Okay? We broke up. The guy, Georgie Rush, his body floated up in the ocean. A day or two later, his head floated up, and it was hit 2 or 3 times in the head. Paul told me, Chin wants to speak to you. Go alone. He's a boss, Sammy. I know it. I went down and I sat down with him in a meeting. And this was the true Chin. He said, some of those kids, you know what happened? Yes, I do. He said, some of those kids, 2 of them, their father was a made guy, a friend of ours, meaning a made guy, with us. I take care of his wife and his kids. I'm asking you for a favor. I said, what? He said, don't kill them. You can kill the rest of them, I don't give a fuck. But don't kill them. Because I had an agreement with Paul, I could have killed them all if I would have found them. I said, I don't have a problem with that, but I want to ask you for a favor. He looked at me, what kind of favor? I said, that kid Scapaci who told me about this, you know he told me. He's with you people. He should have came to you first. And I think you're going to kill him for that. I'm asking you, he saved my life. If he didn't give me that information, I would have got killed in front of my house. He looked at me and he said, you're a smart guy, bro. I'll give you that favor. We shook hands. They chased him from their family. You can't be with us no more for what he did. But they didn't kill him. Now, Chin would have killed him. So I let those two kids go. He let that kid go. I went after a guy, Vinny, who was the other kid, was the main guy I was going to get. He's the guy who shot Nicky Cowboy. We had him in a building in Brooklyn. It was a high-rise. There was a low-level parking. We knew where he parked his cars. I had 6 guys, 7 guys, maybe 8 guys on the hit with me. I had a walkie-talkie. We knew where he was. We knew his car. We knew everything. On the walkie-talkie, one of my guys at the gate said he just pulled in. I got on the walkie-talkie. Everybody get ready. He's coming in. I forgot what kind of car. The guy on the walkie-talkie got back. He said, Sammy, one problem. What? He's with his girlfriend. He's a young girl, 18, 19, 20 years old. I got on the walkie-talkie and I said, everybody back up, pull off. We're not doing nothing. Everybody started pulling off. He parked his car. Him and the girl got out and they went to the elevator, went up in their building. When I walked out, I forgot who it was. One of the guys told me, Sammy, why'd you let this go? We had him. Oh, yeah. What are we going to do? We got to kill the girl? What'd she do? She didn't do shit. We'll get him. But I'm not going to kill this kid. And we let it go. I never got the guy because he had a case going, which I didn't know. But I was still hunting him. But he got convicted, and he got a 20-year sentence and went to prison. I went back to Paul. I said, as far as I'm concerned, those kids with Chin, I gave them a pass. Now this kid, I give him a pass too. Fuck him. What's done is done. I'm not going to wait 20 years for this fucking kid. As far as I'm concerned, Paul, the contract, there is no contract, as if that's okay with you. Yes, of course. So that's Chin. Talking to him, I had a ton of fucking respect for what he asked for because he was protecting a friend of ours who's dead. And they killed him for whatever reasons. But they were protecting his wife and his kids. And he asked for a favor to save those kids. They came on a hit to kill me, another made guy. But he asked for that favor. And I gave him that favor to save Scapaci. And so Chin was brilliant, fair, and to me, I sat with him. I was Tato's acting captain. He's a boss and ferocious. Not 1 cent of any of that negativity between us or try to be dominant like John Gotti would do. He didn't do that. He respected who I was and the favor that I was giving and what happened in the situation. He killed his own guy. Of course, not him personally, but he gives the order. And the guy's body floated up and his head floated up. And he had 2 nephews who were made in the Lucchese family. Some of them are still alive. They're probably going to hear this story. But they already know the story. I was in prison with one of them. They know the story. So anyway, that's Chin. That's Chin. To me, he's a man's man. And smart. All of that crazy shit was a complete act. So that's
Wow.
my story with Chin. And my answers were Chin. So you could tell I have a lot of respect for him. Mm-hmm. He's dead a long time. So, but I still have a lot of respect. And I can't turn around like some people do. Oh, he's evil. I hate him. Fuck that. That's bullshit. I would be lying my fucking brains out. Because it sounds good to some people want hear me say that. I can't. And I won't.
Amen. Sammy, I just want to let you know we have over 1,000 people in the chat, and there is a lot of love coming at you in the chat.
1,000 people?
Mm-hmm.
Amina,
hit the like.
Amina, give me those pictures, please.
Don't worry, we'll just see the arm, Amina. Don't worry.
Oh, she's hiding. She's hiding. She
hiding,
don't have her
baby.
makeup and everything on. Come on, you're beautiful.
Look
Without
at that
our
beautiful
makeup.
arm.
Listen, guys, before we end it, I did a video about it, but I want to be able to show it to you personally. We did this, me and a friend of mine, Kevin, who's now with me, and we worked together. So this is, the fuck is her name?
Gina Lola Bridges.
Gina Lola Brigida. We did this. We're doing this. Now, the picture is for sale for what, 2 1/4?
2 1/4, but it's on sale.
But it's
20%
on
off.
sale, and for my members,
So we have there's a 20% off sale right now, and if you are a member, you got a newsletter with a coupon code for an additional 20% off.
so it's 180, and it's another 20% if you're a member.
Yes.
So think about it. It's another 20%. That's like $200. If you bought into SammyTheBull.com, it's not even $50, $60 for the entire year. It winds up you're saving for 2, 3, 4 years. That's Gina Lola. And I'm working on 2 more. Who's the other one? Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
And one I did for the ASU in that meeting, and there's a picture. I'm working on that too. And this is another one. This is like a closeout. There's not that many of them left. This is, I was in
Super
a Senate
limited.
committee years ago. This is that picture. How much is this?
$125, but it's also on sale.
So this is $125. It's $1.25. Oh no!
6 quarters, guys, plus shipping.
This is $125. There's not that many left.
Right.
So if you want to get it before Christmas, you get it like this. It's in a shiny thing. Well, this is the package, but
Very famous historical moment for you,
yeah,
Sammy.
this is an historical moment. This is I'm in front of a whole Senate committee, and I'm taking an oath in front of the Senate committee. I swear I'm gonna bullshit you guys as much as I could. Like,
Oh my
so,
God! I heard you
there's
had them
that.
cracking
But
up.
I love this picture. I think this picture came out great. You know, there's certain pictures I do when the eyes come out super great. You know, I put the picture on the side and I walk slowly, and if the eyes feel like they're following me, I'm in love with that picture. I think this came great. I love it.
Yeah.
And her eyes, once you get it, and you walk, look, she's looking at me sideways. See, I'm sitting here, she's sitting there, right, baby? Give me a kiss.
Give me a kiss. Awesome.
So, and we're going to do a couple more pictures. You know, eventually I'm going to do a lot of them on our website. We're working on a lot of things. I know there's not a lot of things on there now, so if you get in, there's not a lot, but we're going to be adding a lot of things. I'm going to open up an art gallery. Everything I've ever done and everything I'm going to do in the future is going to be in that art gallery. So I think that's good. There's a bunch of other things that we're going to do. I even want to open up a little bit of a sports show. You know, I'm jealous. Everybody's doing sports shows. What's his name? Joey.
Joey Merlino.
Joey Molino's doing a sports show. He's doing real good. And he's having fun with it, which is good. It's good. I'm glad he's having fun with it. So I'm going to open up a sports show myself, even though I don't know that much about sports. But I'm going to have really smart sports people, and I'll probably break balls as usual. I can't pick. I can't pick a sports game. If I say pick a team, bet the other side. I get a lotto ticket, and there's 5 numbers and the last number. I don't hit not one fucking number. Is that possible? And there should be a prize. What's that noise?
Somebody, I think their maintenance is on the roof right now.
Oh, the maintenance is on? I
Yeah.
thought that was Lily running around. I said, what's she doing now? So,
Yes.
All right. Look at that scar I got on my face. See, that was a little, talking about a little nip and tuck. This picture, I don't think you could see it from there. Right on the side here, I got a little scar. You know what that scar was?
Huh.
That scar was from a bite. When I had a fight one time, this fucking bastard bit me.
No way.
It was from a bite.
I thought it was a dimple.
And you know
Sammy.
how I got rid of it?
Huh.
A little nip and tuck, a
There
little
you
plastic surgery years ago. I hated that fucking hole in my face. So I got rid of it. They gave a little tiny slit and got rid of it.
What'd you do when he bit you?
Oh, I punched the shit out of him, bro. I just kept fighting. I got crazy. But he got me a bite. We went down, as usually. We went down on the floor from fucking around him. I grabbed him tight, and he gave me a fucking bite. You know, Mike Tyson did that in the fight with who the fuck did he fight?
Holyfield. Evander
Holyfield.
Holyfield.
And he bit him. He bit his ear.
Yeah.
He bit a piece of the ear off.
Oh, yeah. Here's Lily.
You know what it is? There's Lily. You know what it is? Mike Tyson bit him because he was frustrated. He was so fucking mad and so hot. He couldn't get him. Holyfield's a great fighter. Great. And he couldn't get him. And when he got closer in the huddle, Holyfield was smothering him a little bit, and he just took a bite. That's fucking what probably what this guy did.
Yeah.
Gave me a little bite.
The hood comes out.
Yeah.
A little frustrated. Well, here we go into the holiday season, Sammy.
Yeah, we're going into the holiday season. Listen, this is a great season for me. I think for everybody should feel the same way. The kids, the wives, the family, the cooking, the food, drinking a little bit. This is a great season. You know, I wish they could stop the war between Israel and Palestine and all of that stuff. This is such a great season for love and respect for each other, not killing each other. Respect each other, love each other. These are beautiful, beautiful times. Christmas trees, lights gleaming all over the place. You know, everybody catches that. I love that. Now, I got a station, 99 out here in the car. When you put it on, it's 24 hours of Christmas songs.
Love it. Yeah.
You like it? You get
I
it?
love it.
I love it too because it puts me in a whole different frame of mind. You know, whatever I'm a little sour about, mad about, it seems to go away. That's what this season is to me. Lily, do you want to do me a favor, put this on the table? You want to do it? No?
Anna asked them how many people hit the like.
How many people hit the like? Sammy, give a contract to your viewers to put a hit on that like.
Yeah, you got, instead of a hit, you got a contract. Hit subscribe, like, and I love you for it, bro. I really do. I love all of you. All right, adios.